$20,000 to $30,000 will get you into the flipping game if flipping is where you want to start.
Hi everyone, it's Kiki Jordan with Virtual Properties Realty. Alright, so I just wanted to ask you, when you approached this home, what was your first take on the home before you started the rehab?
So the first thing I look at as an investor is the numbers. Okay, I always look at when I'm sifting through houses on what I'm going to purchase or what I'm going to buy. I'm always looking at numbers first. So it's super important that you guys look at the numbers and evaluate the deal first. And it literally takes me 30 seconds to evaluate a deal.
But how do you evaluate an ARV that quick?
Because, okay, here's what I need. I need a few things. I need an agent to give me what the after repair value is going to be once I finish the house. Once I know that number, what I do is I take that number and I multiply it times 0.7. Okay, and we'll talk about all these numbers and all that stuff, right? I multiply that number times 0.7. All right, then I subtract what I think the renovations are going to cost. When I walked into this property right here, I said the renovation is going to cost anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000. Okay. We ended up paying $110,000 for the renovations, and that's because I wanted to do a few extra things to get the house, like I changed walls around, I moved things around, I put in drop lighting, all that kind of stuff. Just extra stuff that I didn't have to do, but I know the house is going to sell if I do those things. So again, the first thing I look at when I buy a property is, do the numbers work for me? And then I look into location and things like that.
Okay. So when you priced this property, what was the rule that you went by when you went through each and every single room of the property?
Great question. Comps. You always want to look at comps, guys. Comps are your comparable analysis of what's sold in the area, right? And so I knew I had a comp in this area for like $575. I think there was another one at about $525, and then there's another one at $495. So, and our house is actually bigger than all of those, except for the $575. But I knew that I would be able to sell this house pretty quickly if I priced it a little bit below that. Knowing that I was already going to net or make what I needed to make anyway, the real estate market has risen so much, guys, and grew during the time that I've had this house that it went well beyond my original price, which I thought was going to be $350. So I was okay at $350. Now we're at $489.9. All right. So my costs and my profit and all that stuff was already built in, and I just went below what everybody else was doing in the neighborhood.
And how long did it take you to do this project, to complete this project?
Great question. It took me 1 year and 2 months so far. Yeah, this is the longest one to date, and the only reason it took that long was because I flipped 3 other houses in the process of doing this one too. And I made the mistake. Now guys, you're gonna make mistakes when you're doing real estate. Nobody does this stuff perfect. I don't care if you've been in the business 10, 20 years, you're gonna make mistakes. And the mistake I made was taking my contractors off of this house to put them onto another project. And meanwhile, this house was just sitting. The other mistake that I made was letting somebody steal this house, and I told you I'm gonna tell you that story. But yeah, this house, we had a hiccup with some intruders that came into this house. They took over. We called the police on them, and the police literally told us there's nothing we can do to take them out. Okay, but there was something I could do, but we'll edit this part out. All right, but we got them out. They didn't realize that. So it was just a few hiccups. It took a little bit longer mainly because of taking the contractors off the house and letting them do other work. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And if you had to give any advice to any new investor coming in to do a flip this big, what would it be?
Don't do a flip this big. Not for a new investor, not somebody that's just starting out. I would recommend starting much smaller, and I always tell people, start with your budget first of all. Look at your budget, look at what you can afford to do, but also you're gonna make some mistakes when you're flipping houses. So start with something small that when you make those mistakes, it's not gonna be as severe as it would be with a house this size, okay? Also, it's gonna take less time if you start smaller. So a house, a third of this size might take you 4 months, 3 to 4 months as a new investor. Whereas though a house this size took us over a year. So definitely, you don't want to start with a house this size. You want to start with something a little bit smaller, a little bit more affordable.
So, what was the cost of the purchase, and then the cost of your supplies, and the cost of your contractors and everything? So, what was everything total?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so this particular house was on the market for $142,000. But remember, I said earlier, I always go to an agent like yourself to find out what the ARV is gonna be once I finish the house. That's the only number I care about, is the ARV, because then I know the formula in order to make the offer and flip the house. So this particular house, I thought the ARV in the beginning was $350,000, but again, the market just continued to grow, right? So I based my offer on $350,000, although I knew that the house was selling at $142. I made an offer of $170. So I actually beat out everybody else because I came in much higher, but that was because I knew my numbers and I know how to calculate the numbers. People were putting in the offers at $145, they were lowballing at $130, in that range. I automatically came in at my strongest offer, and that's something you want to do, guys, is always make your strongest offer up front. Okay, I learned a long time ago, a mentor I had, he said, Chess, always wear your best suit to the interview. You know how you want to wear something and you be like, all right, I'm gonna wear this day, but then I'm gonna hit them with this after. No, wear your best suit to the interview all the time, okay? So make your best offer at all times. And I knew if I made my best offer at 170, I had a great chance of getting accepted. And they did accept the offer at 170. So I paid 170. The renovations again was 110,000 on this house, and the resale, of course, we know is 489.9, which Kiki has got us listed at 489.9. Her and her team have got us listed there. So the profit on this particular house, when once it sells through, I should make anywhere from $100 to $100 and maybe $50,000. Yeah.
Great numbers.
Great numbers. Yeah. And look, the numbers don't even matter to me anymore. Like, I don't look at the money anymore. I don't look at now for me, it's the love of doing the projects and also helping other people to get involved in doing what I do. So I could care less. This could be 150 million. It would not be a big difference for me. Once entrepreneurs get to a certain point, they don't see the dollar signs anymore. It becomes about helping other people and helping people get into doing what you're doing and just boosting up as many people as you can. That's it. All right. So once again, guys, this is Kiki. You're going to see more of her because we're going to be working with her some more on our fix and flips, as well as on the channel and all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Please make sure you hit that like button so more people can see this video. Also, hit that bell for notifications so every time I release a video, you get it first. Last but not least, hit that subscribe button so when I make money, you make money like we get ready to do in this house, guys. Talk to you in a minute. Peace.